too. Did you guys not hear about the robot that tried to kill
Yes, the
someone?
murder robot. There was a murder robot in one of Elon Musk's factories. There was a trail of
Took
blood,
almost
for
took out
God's
the
sake.
engineer, tore into his back and his
Oh my
shoulder.
God.
Actually was in him. He had to go to the hospital and get stitches. It wasn't life threatening, but if I had seen that scene on Doctor Who, I definitely would have been screaming. So,
By the way, let me ask you about this because this is something that my daughter, who is a big Doctor Who fan, has been watching it more in recent weeks, has come back to, of the new era Doctor Who's. Now,
yeah.
I remember back in the 1980s watching with my mom, Tom Baker and so forth. So I've been, into Doctor Who for a long time now. Now
Wow.
my
My introduction was Eggleston.
Okay, yes, and that's the case with my daughter too. And she used to be totally totally into David Tennant. And like I remember, like when she was a young teenager, she would have friends over to the house, and they would watch and giggle about David Tennant. And now she's come back to the idea that actually David Eccleston had delivers a really subtle and nuanced performance. So I'm in the most recent Doctor, there was like I saw some Christmas special, and he was dancing around with goblins and singing songs, and it was very strange. But I like the actor who's playing him. But I'm wondering what you think about David Eccleston or the new era Doctors and where he sits in that canon, because it's I mean, yeah, Matt Smith and David Tennant, I think, are far and away the most popular, but my daughter has experienced a reevaluation. What are your thoughts?
Well, I started watching with Eccleston and see my introduction to David Tennant was Killmonger on Jessica Jones.
Mhm. Okay.
The Netflix series, the comic. I like comics. I like Marvel and DC. I'm a geek. So that was my first introduction to him, and he plays a gentleman who is a psychopath and a murderer, and he did it so well. So then to see Eccleston turn into him, it was a shock to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like if you had never heard the guy who voiced Archer and Bob's Burgers, but you saw them like I first saw Bob's Burgers and then I watched Archer and I was like, that's weird. Bob is not talking right. So I had the same experience with David Tennant, but it turned out that I like David Tennant's portrayal. Not that the other ones didn't do a bad job, and the Scottish gentleman, I had an affinity for,
Yes, Philip.
but I really liked the chemistry between David and Kate,
Right,
Catherine Tate. So
right.
that was for me because she's like me. I am like her. That is me.
I,
I know she's a handful,
I,
but
I know it's old and corny, but I think I'm always going to be a Tom Baker fan. From back in the day with a long scarf. It's just a matter of when I started watching. So I realized it's wonderful. Like the new era stuff, like the production is so good, and the acting all around is excellent. The special effects are great, but I have like a lot of the earlier stuff in my heart. Well, good. I think that's a good way to end it. We discuss politics, but we also geek out from time to time here on Facepalm America. Susanne Posel, let me just remind you, if you weren't already aware, if you didn't somehow listen to the first part of this podcast, which you probably did, she has a program that is ready every Sunday that is a review of the week that is called This Week Again. And it is sharp, it is funny, and if you were busy during the week and didn't have time to pay attention to the news like us news geeks, you should give that a listen on any podcast platform you like, probably including this one. So please give that a listen. And Susanne, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, and we look forward to talking with you again next time on Facepalm America.
absolutely. You've made Friday my favorite day.
Thanks so much for being with us on Facepalm America. I want to thank Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine for being the producers of this program. Again, you can go to facepalmamerica.com to listen to past episodes and connect with us on social media. Please rate and review us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you could do that. And until next time, enjoy the day.